Hello. This is a kind of an interesting item, interesting listing. Uh, this is listed as a jet pump. It's not a jet pump, different kind of pump. And then on the instructions, it says that it's a garden pump. And, that's kind of a vague term, but certainly you could call it a garden pump. It's a surface, what it really is a surface impeller pump with a 1.5 inch motor on it. It does seem to be a dust sealed motor, which is good. It's a portable unit. It doesn't have a locking mount on it. It claims that it can pump water from a well 25 feet deep. And just doing the calculations in my head, it might be able to do that. I don't think it can pump with very large a rate. But in order to do that, it would need to step down, and they do include some fittings. This would step down to 3/4, I'm guessing, hose. Hook it on there. You'd need a check valve or a standpipe at the bottom, or it'll never pump that water up. It'll always be fighting the 25 feet, and as soon as you shut it off, you'll have to prime the whole system again. So, one-way check valve will hold water in the column, and then it doesn't have to pump it up from the bottom each time. You can open this little guy right here and pour water in. Do not start this pump unless it has water in it. That's underlining on everything. Prime this pump or the impeller will just burn up. And that assumes that you have an inlet hose and a discharge hose hooked onto these. The threads on all of these are 1.75 inches. That's what these fittings they give you, which seem to sort of be a random selection. Here's a step down to 1 inch from the 1 3/4. They give you some Teflon tape. But what you really need to make this work anywhere below the pump is a check valve and some hose that will hold the column of water in there. When you get done with it for the season, it's got a drain over here. Of course, you can just take the hoses off and turn it upside down, but don't let this thing freeze because it'll certainly break. That's not to say that this is a bad pump. It's just the instructions are very vague, to say the least, because it doesn't tell you any of this. It's 0 degrees out, and I don't really have some water to pump because it's all frozen. So I'll have to wait a while to test this in action. I'd be careful because it warns you in several different places about using a GFI, ground fault interrupter, which is always a good idea, but they're warning you way too much. Make sure that you got this thing grounded because you're working around water and you've got electricity, and that can lead to shock or worse, electrocution. So have a GFI properly installed with a good ground, and be very wary, careful when you use this thing. Turn it on and off by the plastic on the switch. I wouldn't be touching this housing a whole lot. I have seen people badly injured in the oil fields with little pumps like this. This is not a trash pump. This is not a trash pump. This is a clean water pump only. If you put a filter on the other end to try to get clean water, that'll restrict its performance considerably, but that's better than nothing. If you pump even sediment-filled water, it'll eat the impeller up in a short period of time. It's not designed for anything but clear water, which is fine. That's what you want for a well pump. But and it is curious too that this is a portable unit. So, and it mentions in the instructions that they've only tested it with clear water. So don't be pumping iced tea with it, although probably you could. Anyway, I can see many uses for this, but I can see many things that I won't use it on because it won't work for very long anyway. So give it a try. Cheers.